Good morning. I call this meeting of the Pinellas County School Board, December 16th, 2025, to order. Please note there are 6 board members in person. Ms. Meyer is appearing via Zoom. Ms. Meyer, can you hear us? Okay, I will check again later. Next, we will have a moment of silence, followed by the presentation of colors from Northeast High School's JROTC U.S. Army unit with instructor Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Miller, and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Vice Chair Don Peters. And the national anthem and landslide will be sung by Valakree's a cappella choir under the direction of Devin Joyce. Please stand and remain standing until the colors have retired and the color guard has exited.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? I took my love and I took it down. I climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills when the landslide brought me down. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? If I sail through the changing ocean tide, can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I've built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get makes you bolder. Children get older, I'm getting older too. Oh, I'm getting older too. Oh, take my love, take it down. Oh, climb a mountain and you turn around. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, when the landslide brought me down. Ooh. And if you see my reflection in the snow-covered hills, will the landslide bring it down? Ooh, the landslide bring it down.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Mrs. Myers, can you hear us? Okay. While we figure out if Mrs. Myers can hear us and respond during our meeting, I will go ahead and move on to the next agenda item. We will now share a video with a recap of Experience PCS, which was held earlier this month.
Our Experience PCS, what an opportunity today to showcase the great things we have in Pinellas County Schools. You see the arts behind me, you see lots of academic areas. It is truly amazing to see how many things our students have access to in Pinellas County Schools. The indoor soccer is incredibly competitive.
We're the best in the city, bro.
We have esports going on in the arena inside.
It's very fun, you know, because we get to come out here and face all these other schools and we get to have fun.
Lots of academic games that are fun, and so it doesn't matter if you're indoors, outdoors, academics, athletics, arts, everything is all geared towards this idea that students need to have fun in what they do, and you're seeing it everywhere today.
We are making trail mix. You want to show him the bag you made?
We are making whipped cream, so we have little cups of powdered sugar with vanilla, and you take a mason jar with heavy cream and you shake, shake, shake.
It's cool. I mean, I'm able to make whipped cream.
It was really fun and exciting. I like the CPR where you got to learn how to do CPR. I thought it was very cool.
I was helping the guy survive, and I could be a doctor.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I love that he decided to do that. I didn't even see it until I looked and seen him doing the compressions. Glad to see what the school district has to offer.
You got it, you got it.
It was fun and really sweaty.
So we're gonna tap. Will you tap where it says?
I thought today was fun and educational that you could come here to look at what they offer. It was fun to learn about the different liquids and what it can stop and what can it stick to. I saw a lot of robotics. It was very fun.
This is amazing. I mean, these are high school students. I'm impressed, very impressed. This is also learning, imagination, and all that stuff.
Here at Gibbs, we have an incredible team where we build robots and we compete in an international competition.
It's very exciting. It's educational. It's informative. It's very fun.
The kids are having a great time. They get to see what Pinellas County Schools actually has to offer at every level.
All right.
It was pretty great today. We learned about so many different programs. As my daughter, who is an artist, got to participate in the chalk mural, we got to see a lot of the arts. There's a lot going on in Pinellas County, and there's something for everybody.
Experience PCS continues to offer a sampling of the choices and opportunities available to students and families throughout the district. And you heard from a few of them in this video today. I attended the event and must also recognize district staff and businesses that were also present and helped make the event successful. PCS continues to offer hands-on, engaging activities to help students prepare for college, career, and life. Next on our agenda, introduction of professional and community organizations. Mrs. Mascarenas.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Mr. Hendrick, and staff. It is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. Representing the North Pinellas League of Women Voters, Marty Falwell and Jean Reynolds. From the Pinellas Arts for a Complete Education Coalition, Maria Cantonis and Rondi Hileso. Today, we have a presentation from the Student Rights and Responsibility Committee. Please welcome Abby Buntisavat Valdez and James Blackman from Northeast High School and their principal, Michael Hernandez.
Okay, so, am I good to go? Okay, boom, okay, it's ready? Okay, cool. Okay, good morning. My name is James Blackman, and I'm a senior in the Academy of Finance at Northeast High School. I'm the president of National Honor Society, the president of Future Business Leaders of America, the executive vice president of the student government, as well as the Thespian marketing co-manager and the secretary of Year Crew. In my time at Northeast, I have participated in many events, extracurriculars, and spirit days while remaining on track to graduate with my pre-bachelor's Associate of Arts from St. Petersburg College. As a member of SGA, I have helped plan and run 3 homecomings. I have helped raise over $3,000 for my class, and I have used my position to help other clubs and enrich student life on campus. As a member of FBLA, I have competed and made it to states 3 times. I have competed at the national level once, right here at home in Florida at the the Orange County Convention Center, sorry. As a member of Year Crew, I have helped transition freshmen from middle school to high school. I have helped them also just get, engaged and whatnot. And Northeast has helped me a lot in my journey as well. And from internships and other networking opportunities, Northeast has truly been a launching pad into college and career for me. With the support of admins like Mr. Hernandez and Dr. Rogers, teachers like Mr. Havelka and Ms. Holder, and support staff like Ms. Thomas and RAP Dex, and my counselor, Ms. Perry. I have been able to not only succeed, but thrive in school. After this year, I am looking to attend Stetson Law and pursue my master's in business administration while also attaining a Juris Doctor degree in law, in conjunction with it, sorry. And I am incredibly thankful for everything Northeast has done for me, and I'd like to offer a final thank you to Mr. Hernandez. Thank you all. It is my pleasure to also share with you some great achievements at Northeast that helped to meet the vision of 100% student success. The class of 2025 posted a 99% graduation rate, the highest tied for the highest graduation rate in school history. Northeast has maintained a 90% or better graduation rate since the 2018 school year. Students annually complete more than 10,000 hours for Florida's Bright Future programs and, working with the scholarship. Our automotive and culinary programs both have established partnerships with Pinellas Technical College to offer dual enrollment opportunities on our campus. 21 varsity sports teams have qualified for FHSAA academic recognition, earning a minimum of a 3.0 GPA. Northeast has won 8 state academic titles in athletics since 2020. Our volleyball, flag football, and girls track and field teams were 2025 district runner-ups. We had state qualifiers in cross country, bowling, and track and field. Our ladies bowling team finished 5th in the state, and boys 11 in states for. Softball won the 2025 district title, and softball has won 3 district championships over the past 4 years. Our performing arts have earned superior and excellent ratings in competition, while our art students have had their work displayed in the Dolly Museum and the Dunedin Fine Arts Center. JRTC Raiders are back-to-back District 9 champions and finished 2nd in states and are the Rope Bridge State champions. We are 2024 and 2025 America's Healthiest Schools Awards winners, and we are the only Pinellas County Schools to be recognized as a Florida Purple Star campus to serve our incoming military families for educational opportunities. Thank you all, and now we'll turn over to Abby Buntisavat Valdez to share our points of pride.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abby Buntisavat Valdez, and I am proud to represent Northeast High School today as a student government president. Outside of student government, I am an active member of a variety of other clubs such as National Honor Society, Year Crew, Asian Culture Association, PMAC, and FBLA. This year, I also established a new club at my school called Health Occupation Students of America, where we help students explore careers and develop skills in the medical field. Through these organizations at Northeast, I've been able to explore my interests in not only leadership, but also healthcare, business, and culture, while also being able to give back to my community. During school, I currently hold a 4.52 weighted GPA and have been awarded an AP Scholar Award in my junior year. After graduation, I plan to attend the University of Connecticut, where I will continue pursuing my passion for nursing. I am very grateful for the opportunities that Northeast has provided to me, such as being able to connect with others and make a positive impact at my school. I would like to thank Principal Hernandez as well as the teachers and staff for their constant support and dedication to make Northeast High School a welcoming and inspiring place to learn and grow every day. Once a Viking, always a Viking. And now for points of pride. Northeast is a national AVID demonstration school, placing in the top 1% of over 5,000 schools that offer AVID nationwide. The Academy of Finance is one of just 4 programs nationwide to earn Model Academy status 18 years in a row from the National Academy Foundation. The Academy of Finance is a DiTech Pinellas County program of distinction, the highest honor possible for academies. The Academy of Information and Technology is booming with students earning a multitude of industry certifications to be prepared for college and career, and is currently working with Dell to provide a county service to repair student one-to-one devices across PCS schools. Local businesses annually support Northeast with over 20,000 volunteer hours. This includes partnerships with Achieva Credit Union, Dell, Pinellas Technical College, and Raymond James, to name a few. Over 100 FBLA students qualified for state competitions and 5 students qualified for national competition. And we have been rated a B-rated school since 2017. And to close, our school has spirit, a positive culture, and pride. Northeast has been recognized by the state of Florida as a PBIS model school. We believe all students can succeed with the 3 A's: outstanding attendance, a positive attitude, and a hunger for achievement. As a Viking, we build strong ships. Scholarship, relationship, leadership, partnership, citizenship, and sportsmanship are embedded in all that we do. Once a Viking and always a Viking, we thank you for your leadership and support.
Thank you, Abby, James, and Mr. Hernandez. What a wonderful update on Northeast High as well as your personal accomplishments. Thank you. Before moving on to amendments to the agenda, can we see if Mrs. Myers can hear us? Ms. Myers, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. Wonderful. All right. Agenda item 2, Mr. Hendrick, are there any recommended amendments to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there are no amendments to the agenda today.
Board members? Thank you. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Motion by Mrs. Kane, second by Mrs. Blacksburg. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Mrs. Meyer? The motion to adopt the agenda carries 7-0. Okay. Now moving on to agenda item 5, public comments on the agenda. Mrs. Hauk, do we have any speakers for agenda items?
Yes, Madam Chair, there is one speaker this morning.
Thank you. Members of the public have 3 separate opportunities to address the board when we gather for a business meeting. The first is public comment on agenda items. The second is a public hearing, most of which are policies. The last is after our meeting when speakers may address the general business of the district. At each opportunity for public input, board members are here to listen to you. This is not a time for interaction, but the board will take your comments into consideration before it votes on the agenda items. The board is committed to a standard of civility and decorum in conducting our meetings. This includes refraining from clapping or making audible noises during or after a speaker's comment. We appreciate you assisting us in maintaining a civil and constructive environment. Lastly, please note that this meeting and all public comments will be broadcast live on the internet, and the video will be publicly archived. Members of the public may always communicate with the board through our email address, board@pcsb.org, or by calling the board office at 588-6300. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our speaker this morning is Mark Clutho. He's speaking to items 7.17 and 7.18.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Bids. Yes, oh yeah. Your bids. I brought in the wrong, oh no I didn't, here it is. Your bids and policies, what does it give us? The same stupid buildings. Clear story windows in the wrong place. Buildings oriented the wrong way. Like that Clearwater High School building with all that west glass. It never changes. And then 718, this building right over here, a monument to ignorance. $16,209,000. And your goal, fiscal and operational responsibility. Not. No. What happens when you keep doing that? Our world is unavoidably toxic. You have west-facing glass going down to the ground. That's as asinine as you can be. I mean, that western sun bearing down. We have this recent article here about the researchers trying to determine whether or not the water flowing up from the tropics is going to stop, and if it does, it means the hurricanes here are going to get worse. And your stupid buildings that you keep doing are going to help that along. You keep.
Thank you. Madam Chair, there are no other speakers for agenda items.
Thank you. Next is unfinished business. May I have a motion to approve agenda item 6.1, public hearing to consider the amendments to policy 1210, standards of ethical conduct for administrative staff, 3210, standards of ethical conduct for instructional staff, 4210, standards of ethical conduct for support staff, and 5460, graduation requirements. This is the second reading. There are no changes. Second. I have a motion from Mrs. Hind and a second from Mrs. Peters. Mr. Hendrick, please introduce.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As the board knows, these updates are in alignment with changes in state law, And we've discussed these at workshops, and here to give the board and the public a little more background is our Director of Strategic Planning and Policy, Leanna Eisen. Mrs. Eisen.
Good morning, Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Hendricks, staff, and community. The policy amendments reflect updated laws from the 2025 legislative session. These policy amendments were discussed at the October workshop, and the details were shared during the first reading on November 11th. They can also be found included in the agenda item today. The first set of policies are policies 1210, 3210, and 4210, standards of ethical conduct for administrative staff, instructional staff, and support staff, respectively. We've updated these policies to comply with Senate Bill 1374, which now requires temporarily removing instructional personnel under certain circumstances. The law also adds a 48-hour self-reporting requirement after an arrest, which is something PCS has required for years and remains in place. The next policy is Policy 5460, graduation requirements, and it's been updated to align with House Bill 1105. The key changes include the state's removal of the certificate of completion and the addition of marching band as an approved substitute for either PE or performing arts credit. We recommend approving these amendments.
Mrs. Hauk, are there any speakers for this agenda item?
Yes, Madam Chair. Mark Clutho, speaking to item 6.1.
Ethical conduct. Here at this school board meeting, it's an absolute joke. I received this. And this is a farce. This is a farce. Had a meeting yesterday with my lawyer. And after my meeting, he was going to have a meeting with his First Amendment Lawyers Association. And he would be here today, except he had a doctor's appointment. Now, you people don't know what ethics are. And when I show him this, the first thing he'll do is laugh. But this is completely devoid of ethics. I don't know if it was reviewed by the lawyer here, but to hold a book and to simply say, read a book, for that to equate with harassment, you people don't know what ethics means. I mean, you are really, really in trouble. But I'll be going later today to meet with the lawyer. And we'll be talking about how wonderful your ethics are here.
Madam Chair, there are no other speakers for this item.
Board members, is there any discussion? I would just like to thank Ms. Eisen and team for bringing these policies forward. We have discussed them at the workshops in length, as well as she just provided a brief update regarding the changes. One of the things I want to say regarding the ethical conduct policies and that I am proud of as it relates to our district is that all investigations will follow district policies and procedures, including those in the Blue Book. So outside forces who are trying to dictate what the district does as it relates to employee discipline, we're going to follow our policy. And then regarding graduation requirements, I would just like to acknowledge all of our high school staff and Dr. Vasquez and her team who continue to meet to make sure that every child is aware of the new graduation requirements and encouraging them to take the steps they need to get across the finish line. At this time, there are approximately 500 seniors who are not meeting the graduation requirements. Their parents have been notified, they have been notified, and much of the feedback from parents is that they appreciate the early notification. So again, thank you to everyone who are working hard and diligently to get all of our students across the finish line. We have a motion and a second to approve item 6.1. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 7-0. Next, we have agenda item 6.2. May I have a motion to approve agenda item 6.2, public hearing to consider the amendment to policies 2423.01, career and professional education, 5500.07, Code of Student Conduct Discipline, and 8405, School Safety. This is the second reading. There are no changes. I have a motion from Mrs. Blacksburg and a second from Mrs. Peters. Mr. Hendrick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Similar to the last set of policies, these are in response to updates to state law and state board rule. And so I'll pass it back to Mrs. Eisen for the details.
The policies in item 6.2 were amended and discussed at the September workshop, and the details were shared during the first reading on October 14th. And they're included in the agenda item today, of course. 2423.01, Career and Professional Education, was reviewed in alignment with House Bill 1145, and it primarily streamlines the policy, as much of that policy just restated law. Policy 5500.07, Code of Student Conduct Discipline, only amends the wireless communication device section in accordance with House Bill 1105. And the new law there restricts student use of wireless communication devices in elementary and middle schools during the school day. Last is Policy 8405, School Safety, which is updated in alignment with Senate Bill 1470 and adds the requirement for after-action reports following emergency drills. We recommend approving these amendments.
Thank you, Mrs. Eisen. Mrs. Hauk, are there any speakers for this agenda item?
Madam Chair, there are no speakers.
Board members, is there any discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve item 6.2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Next on our agenda is the consent. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? I have a motion from Mrs. Long and a second from Mrs. Peters. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 7-0. Next on our agenda is the non-consent. May I have a motion to approve agenda item 8.1, request approval of the salary increases for Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association. I have a motion from Mrs. Blacksburg and a second from Mrs. Hine. Mr. Hendrick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, as you know, we previously brought to you and you approved salary increases through negotiations with both PCTA and SEIU. And today we are bringing to you the remainder of our employee bargaining groups and those that are not represented. And the first group is the Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, or PESPA. And here to give the details of that agreement is our Chief Human Resources Officer, Michael Vigue. Mr. Vigue?
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Hendrick, and staff. The PESPA successfully ratified our tentative agreement on November 18th. Included in the agenda item is an average of 12.74% or $3,487 salary increase, which is inclusive of the referendum, and an additional 1% increase retroactive to July 1st, 2025, applied to pay starting on January 16th, 2026. An MOU to provide an additional non-reoccurring payment of $300 for full-time employees, half applied to pay on December 19th, 2025, and half applied to pay on May 22nd, 2026. Healthcare plan changes effective January 1st, 2026. An update to Article 11, language to allow access to student IEP and 504 information to PESPA employees who directly support these accommodations, and an update to Article 23 extending required licensing fee costs to be paid by the district through June 30th, 2027. Thank you for your consideration of this agenda item.
Mrs. Hauk, are there any speakers for this agenda item?
Madam Chair, there are no separate speakers for this item in non-consent. There were speakers under the unfinished business because they were public hearings, second reading of policies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board members, any discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve item 8.1. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Agenda item 8.2. May I have a motion to approve agenda item 8.2, request approval of negotiated agreement with the Federal Order of Police. I have a motion from Mrs. Long and a second from Mrs. Blacksburg. Mr. Hendrick?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Vigue will again share the details of this agreement with FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police. Mr. Vigue?
They successfully ratified our tentative agreement on November 20th. Included in the agenda item is an average of 7.34% or $3,754 salary increase, inclusive of the referendum, and an additional 1% increase retroactive to July 1st, 2025, applied to pay starting on January 16th, 2026. An MOU to provide an additional non-reoccurring payment of $300 for full-time employees, half applied to pay on December 19, 2025, and half applied to pay on May 22, 2026. Healthcare plan changes effective January 1st, 2026. Thank you for your consideration of this item.
Board members, any discussion? Mrs. Hines?
I just think it shouldn't go without saying for all four of these items where we're talking about salary increases, while this is something we've been talking about for quite some time, but just now today it's on the agenda. Again, I don't think it should go without saying that we're able to give these increases only because the citizens of Pinellas County passed overwhelmingly our referendum in the last election. It is the only reason, because if you look at the increases to salaries that are given to K-12 education across the state, they don't come even close to this. They're less than 1%. So I just want to say thank you. And to all of those of you, some of you sitting here with us today who worked so hard on getting that referendum passed, because you understand what it does for our people, for our arts, for our technology, for our teachers. Thank you so much. So, and Mr. Vigue and Mr. Hendrick, you've worked hard on all the negotiations, Mrs. Woodford. So again, it shouldn't go without saying thank you both to the citizens and our staff who have worked so hard to do our very best to pay our people as best as we can. And I hope there's more we can do in the future.
Thank you, Mrs. Hine. We have a motion and a second to approve item 8.2. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 7-0. May I have a motion to approve agenda item 8.3, request approval of the salary increase for professional, technical, supervisory staff? Have a motion from Mrs. Peters and a second from Mrs. Blacksburg. Mr. Hendrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Vigil will walk us through the details for this group as well, the Professional Technical Supervisory, or PTS staff. Mr. Vigil.
For our PTS employees, included in the agenda item is an average of 5.05% or $4,036 salary increase, which is inclusive of the referendum, and an additional 1% increase retroactive to July 1st of 2025, applied to pay starting on January 23rd, 2026. Staff who worked continuously in the same pay grade since December 2024 are eligible for this increase. An additional non-recurring payment of $300 for full-time employees, half applied to pay on December 26, 2025, and half applied to pay on May 29, 2026. Healthcare plan changes effective January 1st, 2026. And again, thank you for your consideration of this item.
Board members, is there any discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve item 8.3. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 7-0. May I have a motion to approve agenda item 8.4, request approval of the salary increase for administrators? A motion from Mrs. Peters, a second from Mrs. Blacksburg. Superintendent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our last group of employees are our administrators, and for the details here, once again, Mr. Vigil.
Yes, for our administrators, included in the agenda item is a salary increase of $3,210, retroactive to July 1st, 2025, for full-time employees, applied to pay starting on January 23rd, 2026. Staff who work continuously in the same pay grade since December of 2024 are eligible for this increase. Healthcare plan changes effective January 1st, 2026. And again, thank you for your consideration of this item.
Board members, any discussion? It's time.
I just want to raise this up one more time. Mr. Hendrick, can you share with us the range of percent increase across the board to all the employees in Pinellas County Schools?
Sure, anywhere between 3% and 13% on average. So within those bands, some may be a little higher than that, some may be a little lower, depending on their current salary. But as you correctly pointed out before, that's only possible because of the referendum.
Only possible because of the referendum, so thank you so much.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 8.4. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 7-0. Next on our agenda is may I have a motion to approve agenda item 8.5, request adoption of the proposed Greater Florida Consortium of School Boards 2026 Federal Legislative Program. Second. A motion from Mrs. Long and a second from Mrs. Peters. I will have the honor of doing the introduction for this item. I am the president of the Greater Florida Consortium of School Boards, and we represent 12 districts. One of the things that we're going to vote on today is the federal legislative program of the consortium, which is the result of our approved meeting from December 4th. This is the first time that the consortium will have a federal program, and it was developed by a subcommittee chaired by Dr. Sue Waltansky in coordination with Palm Beach lobbyists and other district lobbyists. This item before us is an item that we must vote on in its entirety. If any board rejects an issue, that issue will automatically be removed from the program. No item may be amended, but must be accepted or rejected. At our last workshop, Tabitha Fazzino joined us to provide some highlights regarding the program as well as some federal updates. Board members, is there any discussion? Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve item 8.5. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 7-0. Thank you. Next on our agenda is items introduced by the superintendent.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, as you saw the video on Experience PCS at the start of the meeting, I just want to thank all of the staff who put that together for about 5,000 community members, parents, students who came out to enjoy STEM activities, musical performances, a junior chef showcase, the indoor soccer tournament, arts competitions, and much more. In addition, it was our first time to have an esports competition. We've launched that in part through the referendum and the support of technology, and we had a number of schools compete. Lakewood and Eastlake High Schools were the winners in their respective categories. But it was great to see so many students showcasing their abilities and parents coming to see what our school district has to offer. Recently, Azalea Middle School also hosted the 5th annual Sunshine State Drone Expo, and it was a soaring success once again. The Civil Air Patrol Cadet Squadron brought together top drone experts from across the nation and state to showcase the latest in drone technology and safety. I want to thank the students and leadership at Azalea Middle School for doing this once again. For our families and members of the public, our annual stakeholder survey is just about closed. This is the last week to fill out that survey. You can do so at pcsb.org/survey. If you filled it out when it first launched in November, I know we keep sending you those emails, but just ignore those, but fill it out if you haven't done so. Also recently, the Exceptional Student Education Fair for College, Career, and Life was held, attracting nearly 200 students and families to explore resources for planning their future. For middle school students, the event helped plan for high school and explore career options, and for our high school students, looking at extended transition options, college, and career options as well. I want to thank Gibbs High School for hosting the event, and also thank Clearwater High School for hosting Experience PCS. Recently, we put out on social media a video of our top 10 Teacher of the Year finalists. Through a series of break-ins, I want to congratulate Bobby Costin Jr. from Campbell Park Elementary, Kathleen Earle from Dunedin Middle School, Kira Goyette from John Hopkins Middle School, Adam Kersey from Palm Harbor University High School, Christine Marr, Shore Acres Elementary, Brian Minkin from PTC St. Petersburg, Jennifer Narkier from Ozona Elementary, Gina Scoliono from Ponce de Leon Elementary, Margelina Vasquez-Lianis from Garrison Jones Elementary, and Denise White from Sanderlin Pre-K 8 School on being selected as top 10 finalists. They are truly exceptional educators, and we look forward to honoring all of the top 10 at the Evening of Excellence in January, where we will also choose Pinellas County Schools Teacher of the Year. And speaking of Employees of the Year, we recently recognized Carlos Childs, the Family and Community Liaison at Campbell Park Elementary School, as the 25-26 Pinellas County Schools Support Employee of the Year. Mr. Childs has worked in a variety of roles in Pinellas County Schools for over 20 years and has actively supported students all along the way in literacy and achievement programs, as well as bringing in community support. He will be our representative in the statewide competition for Support Employee of the Year. And before I do the superintendent standout today, I want to acknowledge, of course, that this is our last board meeting before the holidays. And I want to thank all of our students, families, our staff, district leadership, our school board, and all of the stakeholders for helping Pinellas County Schools through a great 2025 year, another year as an A district. I'm also proud, as I visited schools the last several days, to see the holiday spirit alive in our schools, students having fun even while taking, yes, their high school exams and taking the progress monitoring assessments from the state. And included in that is a number of service projects all across our district helping out those in need this holiday season, including Sutherland Elementary with over 1,000 items donated for a local food pantry, Starkey Elementary School, which just ran their 39th annual Salvation Army canned food drive, and Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School that packed 20,000 meals with Rotary International and Rise Against Hunger. These are just a few examples of the great work our students are doing across the community. I do wish our students best of luck on those middle school and high school exams, and certainly a safe and peaceful winter break, and look forward to all that we can accomplish together in 2026. And finally, the superintendent standout this meeting, emphasizing the district's core values, is Ms. Suhaila Vega, the data management technician at Skycrest Elementary School. She was recently recognized by a staff member for the incredible work she does each day as the DMT. She consistently ensures that our student data is accurate, organized, and up to date including before and after school programs. She does all of this with a smile, assisting families regularly with registration, enrollment, and any other question in the front office. Thank you, Ms. Vega, for the positive impact you make on our school, for always going above and beyond for our students and staff. I want to thank all of our employees for the work they do each and every day, going above and beyond for our students, our families, and a great holiday for all Pinellas County School stakeholders. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Superintendent Hendrick. Agenda item 9.2, items introduced by School Board Attorney.
I have no report today. Thank you very much.
Agenda item 9.3, items introduced by the board. Mrs. Peters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, happy holidays to everybody. I can't believe it's already here. First, I want to thank Superintendent Hendrick and our district staff for everything that you've been doing to communicate with the families of our district regarding, well, and the staff as well, regarding some things that are going to be happening. Two things in particular, the potential co-location of charter schools in our schools currently, and then also the consolidation of schools. And that was a conversation we've been having for years. This isn't something new. It's just something that has really come to the forefront of the conversation within our community. As I visit schools, and I actually got to go to one of our schools while they were having a parent tour for incoming students at a fundamental school, and I was surprised to hear from the dozen or so parents that were on this tour their questions regarding not just the consolidations, which of course a lot of people have questions about. And by the way, that's a long process. This isn't something that's happening tomorrow. So, and we could talk more about that in the future, but also the co-location of charter schools. I was very surprised to hear the awareness of kindergarten parents of the potential of this within the schools, within our district and across the state. So I was actually asked by the principal on that tour to speak to it, as he and I had talked about it before the tour, and knew that I had some more specific information. So I was happy to do so. I mean, if this is a conversation happening on school tours with kindergarten parents, as school board members, we're not always aware. We're in an echo chamber, right, of the things that we talk about and that we're aware of. It's not always as evident what the general public is aware of and what their questions are to us. So I was actually happy to hear that they are questioning and they're engaging and they're wanting to know more about it and understand about it. And so to that point, I always encourage people to speak out to their legislature. You don't just have to speak out to your legislators. You can speak out if you want to do the research and find out who's on the chair of all the committees that have to do with public education. But certainly just send an email, make a phone call. Our voices matter, and not just our voices here on the board, but our voices within the community. Multiple voices matter, and they do make an impact and difference. We have seen that throughout our state and even within the district. So I do very strongly encourage people. We have a link on our website that was easier to find than ever on our new website for our communication to our legislators and who they are. I also wanted to say, after an interesting presentation at our Florida School Board Association on Thursday, we also got to attend the Support Employee of the Year event on December 5th, Friday, December 5th. And I was actually really glad that followed that event, because I was re-inspired. It was such a warm, encouraging, and special event for our support staff. And it was great to hear how they're very humble people, and they just felt like they were representing their school and just so proud to do that. And I just love seeing all the pride within our schools and the people who work there, and how every single person inspires, affects, mentors, and is somebody that our kids look up to. So I just want to speak to those few things. It's when you go to schools and you see where the real work is, that's what makes our job so wonderful. So thank you to everybody. Everybody have a happy holiday, and that is the end of my lengthy things to speak on.
Thank you, Mrs. Peters. Mrs. Hine?
Thank you, and thank you for raising the Schools of Hope issue. I know we've been discussing, and we will continue discussing it. I also want to discuss some things involving the legislature. You know, when I became a school board member, and still today, the top two questions that run through my mind are kids learning? And do we have responsible use of and public reporting of every tax dollar that comes through to us? And those are things that we certainly apply here at Pinellas County Schools. You know, the legislative session doesn't officially start until January, but I promise you it is well underway. There have been plenty of meetings and there are plenty of bills filed to include those impacting education. One I would like to mention to you, I've been in Tallahassee a couple of times this fall already. On November 19th, if you want to look it up, I recommend watching it. It's the Senate Pre-K-12 Appropriations Committee meeting, the Auditor General's office gives a report. They had done a full assessment of the Florida Empowerment Scholarship Voucher Program that is now reaching a $5 billion taxpayer cost to our state and is putting us into a deficit. So they did a financial assessment of those dollars, and they found a few key things that were highlighted. One is that they cannot account for about $270 million on any given day. The other is they can't locate about 30,000 students who they're funding on any given day. Another thing they found was that when surveys were sent to families who take the empowerment scholarship, as it's called now, the voucher, 16,000 surveys were sent to verify where the student was in school. Only 3,000 people replied, and yet many were still funded. The Auditor General is quoted to have said, whatever can go wrong has gone wrong with that particular system. Senator Gates, who is on the Senate Pre-K-12 Appropriations Committee, had a bill ready. It's called Senate Bill 318 that is around fiscal responsibility when it comes to the voucher program. Several other key conservative senators have joined him in that. Senator Simon, Senator Burgess are co-sponsors, as well as Senator Pizzo. The two key things that his bill does that I think we should advocate for, it's on our platform. One of them is separating the Florida Empowerment Scholarship, separating that $5 billion out from behind the skirts of the bigger public education system. So right now we have about $25 billion in total K-12 education funding. That other $5 billion used to stand on its own way back when it was only $1 billion. And now that it's grown to $5 billion, it's hidden behind the skirts of the public education system. And once they put that money together, it's very difficult to pull apart. And that's what they're noticing and why there's this missing money and can't identify students. So number one, have to separate the FES, they call it, from the FEFP. And then the second thing is to actually verify where the student is prior to giving tax dollars. Pretty simple. It's a very large bill. There's certainly much more to it. So I was also there on December 10th with the Senate Appropriations Committee, who unanimously approved that bill, and so it is moving forward. All three of our senators are on that group, and so they all approved it, and I certainly thanked them for that. The trouble is the House seems uninterested in this voucher reform bill. The House seems uninterested specifically in separating the voucher funds out from the public education funds. And I guess I would just ask, and I would ask you to ask them, if we are very proud of Florida being #1 in the nation of this program, and it's the best voucher for all program, then let it stand in the light. Let it stand on its own. Why not? Why wouldn't you have that be its own funded system? We saw this summer when we held that federal funding forum here and hundreds of people showed up. People care about their schools and they care about their tax dollars. And so this is something that you can contact, yes, our delegation, we always say, but you can contact anybody on any of those education committees in Tallahassee, specifically the House Budget Committee would would be great because, again, these are your tax dollars, and they are unsure where they are, where they're going, and this reform bill needs to come up in the House and get passed. So again, I ask myself, are kids learning, and is there responsible use of and reporting of public tax dollars? We do that in our system, right? And so this voucher bill aims to curb the latter, aims to have some of those financial reforms. It does not address the former. It does not yet answer the question of, are these kids learning? And so I do hope that that kind of reform comes in the future, because those are the things that I think we all care most about, the children in Pinellas County and the children in the state of Florida learning. I want to share with you a success story that I was pretty happy about. Last week, my husband and I were having breakfast with our kids, and our middle schooler says, "I had the best day of middle school ever," and which was awesome. That's exactly what you want to hear. And he proceeded to take a piece of paper and show us exactly how his teacher had taught them all about Rube Goldberg, and then drew out what he and his other classmates had designed and built, and how the ball would roll through and bounce and then knock this over, and the dominoes would fall and the water would water the grass, or something. But it was just amazing, and it made me think of the student experience that Mr. Hendrick has stressed since he's been a leader here. And I just want you to know that, yes, we as parents have our individual success stories with our kids, but there are so many every day. And I just want to encourage everybody to highlight their success stories in our schools, because they are many. And then also take the opportunity to thank each of you who work to that end in bringing success to our students across Pinellas every single day. The last comment, just on the holiday season, I just want to share with you that in this holiday season, it's my prayer that as we all light candles, whether that be the Advent wreath or the menorah or any other gestures of light, that those lights ignite the humanity that is in each of us, and that we share and elevate that light in the world. I pray that we may care about other people's children as much as we care about our own. Imagine that. Imagine if we fought for other people's kids the way we fight for our own, and that we care about one another, and that we care about people we don't know as much as we care about people that we do know. A prayer I say with my kids at night, and I'll just share it with you, is this, is may all the people we know and all the people we don't know have health, happiness, and peace of the Lord. Amen. Many blessings this holiday season.
Thank you, Mrs. Hine. I also have a few updates. I currently serve on the advocacy committee for Pinellas Education Foundation, and they have several priorities that have not quite yet been approved by the board, but we did have our first meeting in Schools of Hope and vouchers, which you mentioned, Mrs. Hine, and you also mentioned, Ms. Peters, are slated to be a priority of Pinellas Education Foundation and their legislative advocacy. And when I think about legislative advocacy, today we voted on a federal platform, right? And to Mrs. Hine's point, we saw how community got engaged regarding the financial implications on a federal level and how that would impact our district. Many people are hearing about the restructuring of the Department of Education, as well as other changes that are occurring, and wondering, how is that going to impact our district? How is that going to impact our state? There is a trickle-down effect to it all. So I encourage you, just like my colleagues just said, to contact representatives, the people who we all help elect, whether they're representing our district or not. They have the power to make changes in legislation and to advocate for public schools on a local, state, and national level. So let's encourage them to make a difference, to change their mindset, to change their hearts. Something else I do want to add as it relates to Schools of Hope, Superintendent Hendrick has shared the past 2 school board meetings some updates regarding Schools of Hope and where the district stands on that process. And I want to just commend Mr. Kapersky and team, as well as Superintendent Hendrick and staff, in the way that they are handling the School of Hope situation. Whether we are receiving letters from operators who are not School of Hope operators, and they are addressing that appropriately by letting them know you're not a School of Hope operator, that law doesn't apply to you, or addressing Mater Academy and advocating for our public schools against the co-location of them in a professional manner. With that, I do want to state that our district, our school board, is a part of several organizations that are advocating against School of Hope. Florida School Board Association has an emergency platform item that they will be adding to their state platform, and the consortium will also be sending letters to legislators regarding Schools of Hope, which is in support of our platform. There are 3 specific items within the Greater Florida Consortium's platform that addresses Schools of Hope. And one of the items Mrs. Hine mentioned earlier, which is that separation of funds, of allocation, is one of them. And then when we look at building usage, there is people have the opportunity to state what they deem as underused. So getting clarification regarding that, as well as ensuring we're all operating on a level playing field, is very important. And I do just want to emphasize again, we have FSBA, the Greater Florida Consortium of School Boards, and potentially the Education Foundation, as well as all of the outside organizations, the PTAs, your League of Women Voters, et cetera, advocating against Schools of Hope. And yes, Senator Roussan did put forth a bill to repeal the Schools of Hope legislation. So there's a lot of advocacy occurring against the Schools of Hope, or how to make it more manageable. So thank you, Superintendent and team, for doing great work and making sure we're compliant with the law, as well as protecting our students, employees, and public schools. Next, I would like to just talk about the Planning for Progress meetings.
Madam Chair, real quick, just as a point of clarification, with for the general public as well, Schools of Hope, what we're advocating against is not so much Schools of Hope. We support that initial legislation. This expansion and co-location is what we're advocating against. So I just wanted to clarify that real quick.
So thank you, Mrs. Blacksburg, for providing your clarification. As I mentioned, there are other organizations who are advocating in their own manner regarding Schools of Hope. And as it relates to Pinellas County Schools, we have an approved platform which addresses specific items, and that is what the consortium will be using to draft a letter regarding Schools of Hope. So what I just mentioned was various efforts. And then regarding Florida School Boards Association, their drafted proposal regarding Schools of Hope will also go to school boards. Back to the other thing I was talking about, the Planning for Progress meetings. The last one concluded on December 9th, the day we had a workshop and received some of the preliminary feedback from the community. Thank you, Mrs. Dole, Communications, and team for continuing to put out that information, as well as to invite people to have dialogue regarding what's going on. And it's clearly a topic of discussion, as Mrs. Peters highlighted, and it's important. It's important. There is a lot of news coverage regarding Schools of Hope and co-location and what schools may look like, and just a lot of information that people are trying to absorb and navigate. So I do want to just share with the public the next steps based on the timeline that is easily accessible on the PCSB website, pcsb.org/progress. It includes the entire PowerPoint presentation, as well as a survey that people can provide feedback to online. So next steps is January 20th. There will be a school board workshop where we will receive limited recommendations for the 2026-27 school year. And then in the spring, there will be engagement for the 2026-27 recommendations. And then during the summer, engagement to inform the 2027-2028 school year. And then in the fall, there will be some recommendations for 2027-28 school year prior to the school choice window. Again, our district is open and accessible, and we want to keep the community informed and invite you to ask questions, provide feedback and suggestions. So thank you, Mrs. Dole and team, Superintendent Hendrick, for innovating. Right? Innovating. There are districts who are not even having these preliminary conversations, and we are doing that. So thank you very much for that. Next, I would just like to share a conversation or let you all know that CareerSource is back up and running, and board members, I'll share the flyers from Mrs. Kunkel regarding the summer work, and I'm sure Superintendent has those flyers as well, and will pass them out as he deems appropriate. But CareerSource is back up and running. And then last but not least, I do want to just reflect on something that Mrs. Peters highlighted after a very interesting conference and following up with the Support Employee of the Year and seeing my former middle school, middle school, right? From John Hopkins, Mr. Green receive an award, and seeing Mr. Carlos Childs, who has been at Campbell Park for what seems like forever and has consistently hosted community drives, food giveaways, and different things to support the school to get the well-deserved recognition from our district. It was really a heartwarming moment. From the kisses and hugs, it was really a different experience, but welcomed. So thank you to all of our support professionals. You make a difference, and as I mentioned at that meeting, support professionals, you are the backbone of our district. So thank you for all that you do. And actually, I'm just going to keep going. Senator DeSigley and Representative Anderson have sponsored the appropriations for PTC St. Pete. And if you've been there, you know that some work and upgrades are needed. So I just want to publicly thank them and acknowledge their efforts to sponsor the appropriation for PTC St. Petersburg campus. And now I'll wrap up with happy holidays to everyone. I wish you a safe and enjoyable holiday and look forward to welcoming you back in the new year. And with that, are there any board requests? Thank you, Mrs. Woodford. I adjourn this meeting. All right. Mrs. Hauk? Yes. Mrs. Hauk, are there any speakers for public comments?
Madam Chair, we have 3 public comment this afternoon.
Thank you. Oops. Oh, sorry. We will now move to public comment on the general business of the district. Please note that the views and comments of the public speakers are their own and not endorsed nor sponsored by the school board or district. We cannot ensure the accuracy of statements made, but will review concerns that are raised and take appropriate action, which may include clarifications or the referrals of speakers to the proper staff member for assistance. The board is committed to a standard of civility and decorum in conducting our meetings. This includes refraining from clapping or making audible noises during or after a speaker's comments. We appreciate you assisting us in maintaining a civil and constructive environment. Additionally, please note that although board members or Superintendent Hendrick may leave the dais briefly, there are speakers in the back room, and we will continue to be able to hear your comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first two speakers are Kathy O'Gara and Rebecca Duval.
I'm going to wipe myself down here. Okay. Thank you. I adore you guys. I see you in public meetings. I really appreciate it. My name is Kathy O'Gara. I'm a retired 70-year-old registered nurse. I'm a member of the board, the PTA, not a board, I wish, of the state of Florida. But most importantly, I am the grandmother who adopted my grandchildren, and I'm their mother, and they are in Pinellas County Schools. I am a member of the organizations that are opposing the Schools of Hope, and I mean opposing because no public money should go for this. I did write something down, but I've been a little under the weather. I just wanted to let you guys know that I worked in a hospital the first 25 years of my career, and then again in separate businesses. We never needed a law to create oversight within our businesses. We didn't need a law. That's ridiculous. Thank you. Okay, back to the agenda. I'm sure you know that Hillsborough County School Board issued their own memorandum or proclamation last week. I just want to urge you to do the same thing. I realize there's safety in numbers. It's a lot easier for me to be represented as more than myself, but I want to urge you to do it as well, because this is going to take a fight. For everyone in hearing distance that is not here, we have an empty room just about except for the hardcore people. There are thousands of people who have been in on the school board meetings. Thank you. It's fantastic. I was asleep at the wheel, but have come up to speed, and these people are against it. Why they are not here, I just want to scold you over the internet. You better be here every single time and call all of your legislators. What's wrong with you? Maybe fear of public speaking. Okay, I want to say again that Senator Darrell Rousson has written Bill SP 424. My understanding is that the legislators are acting like it's non-existent, and it hasn't even been seen by the Education Committee. We need to fight to protect education in our state, and we need to call all our electeds and talk to our friends. The internet, the emails have been shut off in Tallahassee for over a week. I have not been able to send them an email. I want to say, too, that it was reported that test scores went up where they had co-location. I have spoken directly with people. New York, they invest $33,000 per student, and here they reluctantly spend $12,000. Obviously, the state of Florida government and the federal government, they're sending a clear message that they do not value education. When I was in school, they said the children are our future. Thanks, guys. I really am crazy about it.
Ms. Duval?
Good morning, guys. I'm just here today to address the situation that happened yesterday, and it wasn't the first time. My son was left on the school bus yesterday morning at 7:19 and called me and his father, hysterically frantic. Sorry, it's emotional. He had to climb out of a school bus window. He could have broke bones. He could have went into an asthma attack. He has an IEP. He goes to Pinellas High Innovation. Why the bus driver did not do his job and check the bus at the school like he was supposed to is beyond me. Him being fired is not good enough for me. Anything could have happened to my child. Thankfully, it wasn't hot out and he didn't have a heat stroke. But what are we gonna do to make sure these bus drivers are doing their jobs? Last week, he passed my son's bus stop, and had my son not looked up from talking to his friends, who knows where he would have been then. This was in the afternoon time. And he's lucky that he let him off the school bus at his friend's bus stop. Thank you.
The next speaker is Mark Clutho.
Mark Clutho, Largo. Why are Confederate Civil War leaders honored with holidays in Florida? Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee. Are you ethical? Are you doing anything about this? Coral reefs at point of no return, report warns. Worldwide dieback may already be beyond hope. Yeah, your buildings are, and you are complicit in this problem. How close are the planet's climate tipping points? You realize that's a problem. So I get this, what a joke. This letter acts as notice. Ha ha ha! Like I say, wait till my lawyer sees this one. Intimidates, threatens, places a student or employee in reasonable fear of harm to their person. Is this scary? War is a racket. Oh boy. What do you think, lawyer? Show somebody a book? Is that threatening? See, what happened outside was I walked to the end of the portico, and that little girl said something to me which I could not hear what she was saying. So what would somebody normally do? I had to walk back closer to where she was sitting so I could hear what she was saying. Now, I didn't get right up in her face, but I had to get closer to hear what she was saying. And I understand that some idiots said that I was in her face, which is a bold-faced lie. Now, you people are going to regret this. I mean, this is asinine. And
Thank you. Madam Chair, there are no other speakers.